This might be a long one, guys, so go ahead and grab some. Alright. Told y'all a week or two ago I was concerned about where the election was going and events that had happened, what was going on. 2 years ago, I did a video right after President Trump got elected, and I said in that one not only to not slack up on your preparations and planning and training, but to actually step it up, even though he had won. Because I had a feeling, based on some things I was seeing, that things were heading in a bad direction. We've had Democrats outright trying to steal elections in the past couple of weeks in both Georgia, Florida, a couple other places. I use the word Democrat loosely because very few of them are actually Democrats anymore. Most of them are outright socialist communists. They're still trying to do it here in Florida. Fortunately, as of this morning, it looks like Kemp will win governorship in Georgia over the socialist communist Stacey Abrams, and it looks like DeSantis will be taking the Florida governorship, over the absolute, I always said, if you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all. Socialist communist Gillum. We still have events going on where they're trying to steal the senator seat that, for all intents and purposes, it looks like Rick Scott's won over Bill Nelson. And also, here in Florida, the agriculture commissioner seat that it looks like Caldwell won, but again, they're trying to steal that one. And for here in Florida, the ag commissioner seat is actually a very important one for us. It holds quite a bit of weight in the state as far as things that that seat controls and what that person controls. So they're doing things to try to steal these elections, and then they're not even trying to hide it anymore. This is how blatantly open they've become about it. Boxes of ballots just materializing out of nowhere, found in the trunks of rental cars, being moved around from vehicles in back alleys in the dark of night that people just happen to spot happening. Trying to count illegal votes from non-citizens, etc., etc. And they don't even try to hide it. That should tell you something right there. Now, let's change it up a little bit further. I'm telling you all this because there's a storm coming, guys. If you haven't been taking preparedness seriously up to this point, it's time to take it seriously. And I mean every aspect of it. Have food stored and have a way to get more. Whether it's growing it or putting it somewhere else or whatever. Have a way to get water and have water that you can drink. Have medical supplies on hand. Have ways to start fire. have guns, mags, and ammo. And above all, with all of that, your 3 B's, the beans, bullets, and band-aids, have training and practice. That cannot be stressed enough. You've got to have training and practice on all of it, not just the shooting, but all of it. How to use the medical stuff, how to grow food, how to cook food when you don't have your regular stove and oven, how to purify water, how to start a fire in the middle of the rain, how to move around in the woods, how to work as a team with friends or family or others. You don't have to be an Olympic marksman, but if you're fairly good at hitting a target out to 100, 200 yards, make sure you work in some training on how to work as a team with somebody else. Probably more like a 2-man team. Just how to coordinate you and your spouse, you and an older child that you can trust with a firearm. All this stuff for obvious defensive purposes that we talk about with things going south, from typical gangs and looters and thugs and dregs of society if things go bad, but also from others. As you all know by now, the socialists and the communists, formerly known as Democrats, have retaken the House of Representatives. They control Congress. They haven't even taken power yet. Doesn't happen until January. And they have already started announcing things they plan to do. Make no mistake, they are going to go after President Trump. They are going to do everything they can to undo things that he's done. They're going to do everything they can, and this is not my words, it's their words, to do things that will send this country into a dangerous spiral. They've even announced that they intend to go after guns hard. So much so, they've already got a bill drawn up that will be really bad if it goes into effect. Now, obviously, it's got to pass Congress, it's got to pass the Senate, and the President's got to sign it. That's still a long ways off. But they're saying this is what they're going to do. They're telling you. Now, I've seen people on Facebook, on forums, on blogs, comment how that all this stuff that, you'll read the news article about it, oh, it's just fear-mongering, they're just talking, blah, blah, blah. That's one of our problems, and it has been one of our problems for years, and it's why we're where we're at. These people tell you exactly what they're going to do, straight up front, and they have for a long time. But our side laughs it off as just hyperbole, or they're just being over dramatic, or they don't really mean that. Don't take them that literally. No, they're telling you what they're going to do, and we don't believe them. And then we're always shocked when they try to do what they said they're going to do. And then the next time we do the same thing. And the next time we do the same thing. Go look up the definition of insanity. Pay attention to what they're saying they want to do. Even if they don't get it done, you should still understand that that's what these people want. They want to do these things. They want you disarmed. They want you to not have a way to protect yourself from anyone. The one bill that they've got right now you need to pay close attention to, I've not read the details of the whole thing. I have skimmed over the meat of it. It would basically, in a nutshell, it would do away with you buying stripped AR-15 receivers, AR-15 parts kits, AR-15 upper receivers, AK parts kits, AK receivers, 80% blowers and receivers. It would do away with all of that. One of the things that, if you guys follow the channel over on Facebook, that just, excuse me, see me posting all the time, is links to deals that Palmetto State Armory is offering. They do some great deals. You can buy a stripped lower and one of their build kits that's got a full lower parts kits and a full upper in it, and put together your own gun for ridiculously good prices and have a good functional gun. I share links to that stuff all the time when they've got things going on that I like and recommend. That would all go away. Gone. Buying AK kits and then going to a receiver build class and building your own lower receiver, that all be gone. This is some serious stuff. You would pretty much only be able to buy a new complete firearm, and it would even affect that in some ways. Now, let's kick it up another notch. I'll go ahead and tell you ahead of time. I may get a little fired up on this. There is a Congressman Swalwell, yeah, who has said that he wants outright confiscation. He wants you to turn them in, and if you don't turn them in, they should come after you with guns and take them. Put you in jail if you're still alive. He even went so far in response to somebody who made the comment, well, Congressman, if you want a war, that's the way you get a war. And his response to that was, it'd be a real short war because we've got nukes and we'd use them. Now, that is a United States Congressman stating that he is willing to use the full extent of the government's arsenal, up to and including nuclear weapons, on United States citizens. And before any of you say it, don't waste your time typing it out on the keyboard. He's not just talking. I guarantee you he means that. Now, I'm not so sure he could actually get that to happen. I don't think he has quite enough pull as a congressman to make that happen. But he fully would if he could. Do not doubt that, people. That is how bad they dislike you and I and people that value their freedom and liberty. Do not doubt that for a second. They're telling you what they will do and what they want to do. Whether they can do it or not is not really the focus. You need to be paying attention and planning for what they're telling you they want to do. Because what they want to do is what they're going to work towards, and that's what could suddenly happen one day without a lot of notice. So you better be ready for what they're telling you they want to do, regardless of how easily you think they could actually make it happen. Okay? Now, I'm sorry, it is not a play on words for a United States Congressman to make a statement like that, regardless of the weapon, but that he is an advocate of killing United States citizens who fail to comply with an anti-constitutional action such as gun confiscation. And again, he is stating that people who resist that should be killed. Americans should be killed. I do not see how he can remain as a congressman. It seems to me there ought to be a law or a rule somewhere that members of the government, servants of the people, not masters, servants of the people, should not be allowed to make public statements regarding wanting American citizens killed. Just seems like it's a bit contradictory to what they're supposed to be doing. Maybe I'm just the weird one here. I don't know. There is a storm brewing, people. You better get your stuff in order. Say it back like I did at the beginning. Get your beans, get your bullets, get your band-aids, and learn how to use all of them. I do not like where this is going. I am not comfortable with how it's going to play out potentially. Because keep this in mind. The Democrats control Congress. They can push something through in the House. We have a very, very narrow majority in the Senate. And do not think for a second that a large number of those Republican senators are nothing more than rhinos. Do not doubt that for a second. Do not count on a Republican-controlled Senate not going along with something that the Democrat-controlled House passes. Now, I hope they would go against it. I hope they wouldn't pass something like that, but do not count on it. There are too many rhinos in the Senate, and it would only take about 5 or 6. Let that sink in. Only about 5 or 6 at the most to make a vote go that way. That should concern you. Now, from there it goes to the president. Said it before. President Trump wasn't my first choice and he wasn't my last choice. I like a lot of things he's done. I've got some concerns about a few other things that he's done. I still do not fully know him per se, or I don't want to say trust, but that's the only word that comes to mind at the moment. I don't fully trust what he would or wouldn't sign if it makes it to his desk. So you need to be paying attention to this stuff. You need to be concerned about it. And the ballot box is becoming less and less of an effective option. You better start preparing and getting the other boxes ready. Pray to the good Lord in heaven that that day never comes. I do daily. But I also am smart enough and feel called enough to be ready for it. I would rather be ready for a day to come that never comes than to not be ready for that day and it to arrive. That's just me. Pay attention, guys. It's a cliche analogy, but there are storm clouds building. You can look on the horizon. You see those big, thick, white thunderheads starting to build up. That ceiling's getting higher and higher, and they're starting to move together. And those big, white, billowing clouds are starting to turn dark, starting to come together. They're making a big storm. When you see that happening, what do you usually do? You get ready for it. You don't get caught by surprise. You see the storm forming. You know it's coming. You do what you got to do to be ready for it. This is no different. It's no different at all. I can go on for another 2 hours about this, but I won't. You either get it or you don't. I hope you do. Get ready to whatever extent you can without putting your normal livelihood in jeopardy. Don't be smart. Don't go out and obviously, contribute to panic buying or get yourself in financial trouble trying to get ready. Get ready within your means, but constantly be doing something. There's always things you can do that don't necessarily cost a lot of physical money for you to start getting ready for things like that to possibly happen and dark roads to go down. Keep an eye on it, guys. Keep an eye on it. And as always, drink more coffee. Stay safe, guys. Keep getting ready. And I'll talk to you again soon.